And we live. Sorry about that. Lost track of time. Lost track of time. My plan failed. My plan failed. I planned to come home at 6:55, but I came home at 6:58 because my plan failed. I planned, but because I didn't plan properly, my plan failed. We're talking about a lot of people, not really having no structure for life, not really having, type of goals. You know me always talking about knowledge itself. And in talking about knowledge itself, you got to have an understanding of who you are. What do you need for yourself? You know, what are the goals and future things you plan for yourself? Because it always starts with you in relationships. The back and forth, you got to choose what you want to accept. And a lot of people fail to understand that. A lot of people, to a degree, as far as the pushback, you gotta realize what are you willing to accept. And the stuff you're willing to accept pretty much guides the relationship, guides your train of thought, and so forth. A lot of people, have issues, have things that's going on with family, friends. Nobody too loud. But at the end of the day, all this stuff garners from you. And your plan, pretty much, if you just winging things, there's some people who winging in life. You know, they just sit out there and go get a job. Next thing you know, they get a better job. Next thing you know, they get a nice car. They get a better car. They get a house. They get a better house. Just winging it. If it happens, it happens. I got a family member. He always say, if it's for me, then it's for me. If God grants it to me, then it's for me. If it's not for me, then it won't be mine. And I said, okay, it's a nice little, quote and saying to live by. And when it comes down to it, I've always, this is one of the key things that I've always took from the Bible about faith. And a lot of people who read the Bible, understanding of the Bible and everything, it tells you that faith without work is dead. You have so many people that believe in things, that believe in the Bible, that believe in good things will happen to them, that believe if they pray for things, things will come true. But then once the prayer's over, you get off your knees, or whatever you praying, standing up, sitting down, however, and then you just go about your day. You're not putting in no work. That's the key thing that a lot of people forget about with prayers. You also got to do something yourself. You can pray to have a good job, but if you don't go and fill out that application, your job is not just going to fall in your lap. I mean, the obvious, some people, get blessed like that or have a sign come to them. But to a degree, a lot of people miss the sign because they somewhere not putting in no work. You could be walking down the street and say, Lord, give me a job. Show me a sign, help. You will have a literal sign at a bus stop that says, if you need work, call this number. You'll pass right by it because you're focused on God just coming to somebody and say, hey man, you look like you need a job. That's how people get sometimes. You literally get to the point where if no one's not putting something in your hand like you want some money, you might have it to where somebody will come to you like, hey man, I need you to do something for me and I'll pay you. You looking at No, I don't want that. But you look for somebody to say, hey man, I just had it on my heart, depression, and just need some money. You're like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the blessing I want. Both of them are the same. One of them is a form you got to put in a little work, which most people don't want to do when it comes to, getting paid. And the other one, hey, it just comes to you without you even doing it. And that be the crazy part. So, that's what I'm saying as far as planning, as far as failure. You don't have no interaction with trying to get things accomplished. You know, if you want a job, you go fill out the application. So when you don't get a job because you didn't go fill out the application, what is the result of that? You plan to fail. All the plan of you, man, when I get this job, you like you little kid at the your list is Santa. Write your list is Santa. You're like, yeah, I'm about to get this big wheel. I'm about to do this. Then when I get my big wheel, I'm be riding the big wheel. But the girls say when they get their Barbie, they're gonna get their Barbie. They're gonna, I'm gonna brush my Barbie hair, and I'm gonna do this and that to my Barbie. You doing all this, you know what I'm saying? Talking about what you planning to do, but your plan failed because you forgot to give a list to Santa or your parents. You were so engulfed thinking about everything you got, all the stuff you putting on the list, everything you putting stuff on the list. It's getting closer and closer to Christmas. When you don't get the stuff you want, you like, all this stuff right here I put on the list. Why Santa didn't get it for me? The first thing your parents gonna say, you did all that planning to, for the list. When did you ever send it to Santa? Your plan failed because you never sent it to Santa. What's going on, Dr. Dunbar? Man, I haven't been catching you in a minute, man. How things going with you? I've been kind of off line for the night. I'm trying to spend a little more time with the family. Yeah, man, I've been staying in Michigan, putting in work. That's like one of the biggest things with a lot of people. You try to start a process of, planning, but you don't take the next step for the plan to succeed. So ultimately, the plan fails. People get a new job, they move up in the company, come to work early, complete assignments, work with others. That's good teamwork. That's how you sit there and go in there. You can ask for a raise and possibly get put in a better position at the company. I recently got a raise. When I went in there, asked for a raise, they couldn't say, well, you're always late. Well, you never really complete all the assignments or complete all the tasks that we give you. I planned this out. Made sure all my attendance was good. Made sure my stats was good. That they were telling me that every employee needs because I have a certain level of stats. Driving situation, everything is good. You got to plan on it. See, that's the key thing with a lot of people. Even with you planning, it's a process on getting that plan to take action. Otherwise, you're going back to the failing stage. Hey, I just had a minor setback. I was working out. Got a little crook in my neck. Just now getting back together. It's been about 4 days. I haven't worked out hardly any. I'm like, man, I know I done gained that weight back. I've been trying to cut back on the eating because I'm not working out. Or even, just probably miss a meal or something to, kind of work that way. Other than that, when it comes down to it, I got to get back out there. Shout out to Gold Professor, Big Dude, underrated. We all sit there and talk on the phone, and that's a key thing. Like Underrated said when we was having a conversation, I can see it. It's not that too personal. Just like you say, it's good to see that, guys online care about each other more than just the online conversation, you know, because that's one of the key things. Health is a big deal. A lot of guys, we have these conversations online with each other about women, about what each other do. But where's the conversation coming into play about each other working for the greater good? One of the biggest things that they spoke on with me was having my boys, being around for my boys. So therefore, I need to lose some weight. There was no shame in it. I do need to lose some weight. And the whole thing is too, for me to, be a better father is to be there for my kids. And I'm always gonna throw Alonzo in the mix about life insurance. And I grant that upon people who don't have kids as well. Your life insurance is not just for certain little things for you to when you die, but one of the key things are if you pass today, who do you think is gonna bury you? Your mom, your dad, your cousin, somebody? Where's the money coming from? See, a lot of people they forget about that. That's one of the plans you fail because you're living life saying you have time. How many people died unexpectedly? All said that they had time. The way life is going right now, there's a lot of people wake up, driving down the road, get into a car crash, die instantly. Man, car crash did that. Something that you're supposed to walk away from. So here's the key thing. They wasn't even wearing a seatbelt. There's situations to where you walking down the street, someone's shooting at someone, straight bullet hits you. Tough situation. So when the plan doesn't go right, for you to live to be 80 years old, that's life. But the point of it is, you have to have something to combat that. At least have money for your burial. And especially during 19, we've seen that so many people are passing. Like the wealth transfer for a lot of people at that moment. I remember I talked to this guy. He owned his business, and he said his grandmother died probably about 1980. I think it was like 79 or 80. It had to be 79 or so. But basically, his grandmother left him $10,000, just enough to buy a 1980 Trans Am. He still has this Trans Am to this day. So that's one of the things he said he remembered his grandmother about. Because if it wasn't for her leaving that money for him through life insurance, he would have never got that car. And like that's the key thing. She had enough money to give money to her grandkids, possibly her kids, who knew, and still had money to be buried. And that's one of the key things that I try to focus on. Those people prepping for the future. Not even like I said, if you don't have kids, I had a friend. I just talked to him recently, and I told him, I'm steady on him about getting life insurance. I was like, dude, you think he's what? Because he's 9 years older. No, he is. Did he turn 50? Oh, so he's probably 10 years. Yeah, my brother's mine. Yeah, he's 10 years older. So he's 50 already. Yeah, he's turning 50 next year, right at the beginning of the year. So yeah. So the thing is, like I told him, 50 years old, dude. What are you gonna do if something happens to you right now? He's like, yeah, my family got money. I said, but do you want to put a burden on them? I know your kids got money. I've met him. You know, I know another family member. I met him. He has a little money. But the point of it is, do you want to be a burden to them? He's like, no, I don't be no burden to nobody. I'm saying you will be if you don't have that insurance. Say the least, it don't even all the money in your account. That's gone. Like I told him, if you don't have a trust, that's going straight to probate. You know, unless you're married. He's not married. So guess what? State getting all that. That's one of the things when my uncle passed. State got everything. Bank account. All the money in the savings he had. He was saving to buy a house. That money was gone. Or buy a pickup truck. That truck was gone. Because you know the first thing that they try to do, if you go on a probate and try to get it, you gotta pay money and you gotta go get the family members. Because if any family member come back and want money off that truck, you gotta almost like pay the value of that truck for probate. So they can dish out money to somebody if they come back later. These are the things that we need to be talking about within the community. You know, I was actually on Brother Bacar's show last night. And you know, the key thing we was talking about Dion, and you know, he came on my channel the other day, and we talked about this because, and this is what I always be talking about: putting your money where your mouth is and having an understanding. He don't really um, go at Dion for what he did. You know, he looks at it that the team was gonna do good with or without Dion. But the point of reference is, you know, Dion said what he said, and he kind of stood on his word to a degree, which, in my opinion, he stood on his word. He did everything that he said he was going to do. He got D1 kids. I mean, he got pretty well D1 kids to come to HBCU. He turned the team around within 3 years. Really turned the team around that first year. They went to the bowl the first year, then went to the bowl the second year and won, and now going to this bowl the third year and most likely going to win. Then the whole thing with Dion as well. Um, Also, Dion, you know, had some other things with the school, but overall, the one key thing that Brother Bakari stood on that I talked about in that whole thing, my son goes to Jackson. My son has an academic scholarship to Jackson. I donate to HBCU. So therefore, like I said, people that donate to HBCUs, they went or put their kids in HBCUs, they have a better leg to stand on than anybody because for one, they put in the work. They actually put in the work. So when it comes down to them talking about HBCUs and you know the issues that they're going through, they put in the money. They know that the school don't have a lot. They know that there's certain things they're lacking. They know that you know issues that are going on, but they're helping and putting forth to fix it. You know, and that's what you know had the conversation with me to where I was saying with everybody, what is the deal with everybody you know mad about what did? He even said it out his own mouth that he said when it comes down to it with Dion in general, if Dion leaves, the school still has to you know move on. Dion is not the Jackson State football team. Dion was the coach. If Dion leaves, the school football team still remains. They're going to hire another coach, and then they can continue having a good season. Dion already laid the foundation. The foundation was there before Dion. Dion just made some changes for the school to be great. He planned on it, he executed it, and it all happened. You know, and to the degree with him bringing all these other coaches from the HBCU, I kind of got you know a little upset about that. But the point of it is, these coaches are going to have a better opportunity, not just only for them to actually give back to those HBCUs too. Especially the coach from Mississippi. I always forget this coach. I think Valley or something. I always forget that coach. That's one of the coaches. When they did the interview with him, he said that's all he knows is Mississippi. He never left the state of Mississippi. You got a man that's, later in his life, never left the state that he was born in. That kind of speaks, volumes, to the degree of money, and also to the degree some people just love their city, love their state. They don't want to travel. They don't want to go nowhere. Home is where the heart is. And so I commend him for him doing that, holding it within. And, Deion executed his plan well. Now he's planning to bring some other coaches with him. And if these coaches do well, if possible, they can get positions at other schools that can therefore branch out. Because that's the conversation that Brother Bakar we was talking about last night, was once you branch outside of the community to build capital, you're bringing the money back in for other people in the community to start their own. Let's say I go work for Delta. Something I do at Delta, yeah, man, it's so many back and forth with those guys, man. The thing is, Deion brought so much to the sport and the swag. The crazy thing is, all these other coaches that kind of say he's not this and not that. What have the other coaches done? Just off his name alone, being Deion Sanders, prime time, and his accolades in the sports. I mean, say the least, they looking at Deion bringing some of his um, ex football player friends to come coach. A lot of those guys don't want to do that. Most of them are broken down. Most of them, they like Deion has pretty much maintained his weight to a degree, maintained his physique. Most of those guys, they out of it. They are literally out there. I seen Keyshawn, and I didn't even know who Keyshawn was the other day. That's my first time. I don't look at sports and all that as much. So that was my first time seeing Keyshawn. I was like, who is that? That ain't the Keyshawn that was going against everybody. That ain't the Keyshawn that was catching the balls and doing. They losing. But saying the least, hey, Deion put in that work. And a lot of people didn't want to give him credit because he was the celebrity. He was the hype. And I get it. But at the same time, his plan of action proved to be true. What he said he was going to do, he did. He brought those kids there. He did everything, to a degree. That was, it came down to a purpose where you knew he was going to leave eventually at one point. But when? They could have left, I think it was TCU tried to get him last year. He didn't go. So when it come down to it, I mean, his plan made success. Even though, in my opinion, he left because of situations with the school not being truthful and not working with him. After time and time again, he put things to the side for the greater good of the team. But that's to be determined. Yeah. And the even greater picture, like I said, we're bringing those coaches along from the HBCUs and putting them to the point to where either if they get into a better position at other schools, they can do more. They can get back more. I mean, You got to understand, you got a coach probably makes about 50 to 80,000. Now making $300,000 a year as an assistant coach. I think they said Colorado last year paid $3.2 million to 10 coaches, the assistants in a position. And I'm like, what do you think most of those coaches will be able to do with that money? Not only provide for their family, they can still get back to their old school. They can still be, kind of put things in play because once you get some type of status and once you get, you never forget. It's like home, it's like family. You never forget about family, you know. And to the degree, a lot of stuff that's going on right now, man. Speculations, all this crazy stuff. Say the least, Dion just going to be a coach. You know, that's all he want to be. And for him to be great, this is his level of being great. This is his level of putting people, in position. And I commend him on it, 100%. I commend him. But saying the least, man, I'm about to jump off here. And oh yeah, I talked about all this. I forgot about my planet. You know, almost playing to fail that one. But sticking to my money talk, man. I gotta get my binder so I can show y'all. I got a little planner to what I've been putting out. I told y'all I was gonna start putting money aside due to my me not buying so much food every week. So that's gonna go into play. Then I'm gonna sit here and do my other stuff for my budgeting because I'm trying to pay my house off quick, and that's one of the key things I was looking at too was the budget planner I see. So it's gonna give me, pretty much of an idea on me paying off my house pretty quick. And like I said, I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna try to see because I'll be trying not to do so many lives when I go home. Really, just no lives when I go home. But I'm gonna try to do one night where I can do something. Because I know I need to really spend time with my kids more, especially at night with them helping them with their work. And they try to play this little game, but they ain't want to do work from home. And I caught them. Sorry about that. I had to get some water. But yeah, so I've been staying on them doing their math work. Um, Next year, one of my kids, I'm already in the process of getting him a tutor. I mean, even though he's doing better, he's been taking tutoring at school. I just want him to be a little more better going into the new year. And I've already, uh, kind of found out that he likes certain things. So I've been trying to entice him with that by giving him what he wants. Because like I said, back in the day, kids got whoopings in order to make them be right. So one of the things that I've been trying to do is, kind of steer away from certain things like that because I'm like, nowadays, as when I was growing up, you know, you could beat a kid or, punish them to death. And that's kind of going away because everybody has a style of thinking, style of, doing things. So with that being said, when it come down to it, say the least, you got to find a way to connect with your child. And if that means that you're punishing them more, that means if you're buying them things, that means if you put them in a perspective to, kind of overall get them a better outlook on life, then so be it. But that's one of my biggest things is connecting with my kids on a level to where we can understand each other without the back and forth and me put my hands in all this. I had a talk with my son last night about some kids trying to, just bully him and play with him so much. And he kind of didn't want to talk to me because he thought I was going to be too tough on him and everything. But, you know, that's the cost of a parent when you dealing with your kids and you're starting with them. They don't want to come to you about certain things because their interactions of thinking that you're going to interact a certain way is kind of bad. But we had a discussion and he understood and he came from it. And I told him, you can always come to me. You know, I'm open. I can talk to you. I won't judge you to a degree like that. I said it'd be some things I have to correct, but other than that, you know, have the conversation. So he was open about it and, kind of laughed about it. But at the say the least, man, I'm about to get ready to jump off of here. Like I said, I'm going to keep pushing this all the way into the new year and going into the new year. You don't have to wait till the new year to start your resolution. Your resolutions can start right now. I told you guys back after Thanksgiving what I do. I started dieting. I started, working out. I started my budget to where I'm saving money. All this stuff is happening before the new year. All this stuff is happening before the new year. And TaylorMade, I'm about to give you a wrench. I've always been on your channel. See, you just came over here, but I'm gonna give you a wrench. I'm always going back and forth on your channel. But yeah, I seen that mod thing you was talking about yesterday. And with me giving wrenches to people more or less is to kind of work with them to share their channels and stuff. And to a degree, if I see something foul or something going on, I do take wrenches like that. But based on just everybody sharing their channels, because I'm all for everybody, promoting their channels, getting their channels together, and say the least. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Dr. Dunbar. Hit you guys up offline. I got both you guys' number and so forth. We can do this and set something up. Because my biggest thing, like I keep telling people, don't start on your New Year's resolution now. I mean, just wait. Start on it now. Don't wait. Even with me and my budgeting, trying to keep everything on budget. It starts with you doing all the stuff that you need to provide for your family, to provide for you. It starts right now. That's why I don't understand when it comes down to it. More or less, people are trying to budget themselves and do the right thing, so forth down at the last minute and all that. No, start now. Start now. Getting your health together, starting now. Everything starts now. Saying the least. If we want to get stuff accomplished, the best time is the present. Especially with our kids, getting our kids in line starts now. Because my whole thing is my kids, I want to put them in a better position I was. I've always sit there and told people, had multiple conversations with my wife, my older kids. Even when I was on Underrated Darkness channel yesterday, I told them, I do have step kids, but he was having a conversation with the step kids, not wanting to, be in the step parent's life or work with them and this and that. And I'm like, they're grown. When it comes down to it, grown people do grown stuff. I don't have a problem if my step kids don't want to be in any of my business or something interest. That's on them. But my thing is all garnering respect. No matter what you do, you have to respect because I give you to a degree of level of respect, and I'm expecting that in return. So saying the least, I'm gonna jump off of here. Shout out to everybody that came through. At the end of the day, knowledge yourself, make yourself first, have an understanding who you are. Shout out to Gold Professor with those 9 laws of self-government. Check them out. I might even post them at the end of this on my community tab for people to get reminded. So Professor has blessed us with these 9 laws of self-government to where you really have to go into depth. Rule number 1, discipline. It starts with you, you know. And my favorite always is rule number 3, knowledge yourself. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about my sayings. Rule number 3, applying selfishness. Because the selfishness can be turned on and off. You got to think about yourself. A lot of people, try to put forth so much emotion and stuff for other people. What about you? Who's guarding that relationship for you? Who's guarding stuff to help you be better in life? And you do it for everybody else. Who's going for you? So have that knowledge of yourself, but also apply selfishness. With that being said, we here. Shout out to everybody in the building. And we gone.